that Jellicent actually looks pretty good in the DHC's team.
Yeah, completely agree. I don't know how much DHC is even going to bring for it, given that it has a terrible matchup versus Florges. But here we go, game number 1 of the Grand Finals.
Kelsey versus DHC, Empoleon versus Altaria. Going to be a decently neutral matchup. You got resistant Dragon Breath, but you can see the damage is adding up quite a bit into the Empoleon as the first drill peck is going to be thrown. DHC going to throw potentially Flamethrower or go for baits. Pretty risky bait there as Kelsey is going to throw this first drill peck. I think I actually missed the bubble. I don't know if that's going to be consequential or not in this matchup, but that's going to do a little bit more damage than a fully charged drill peck.
Yeah, Flamethrower coming through here, and this could be big if Kelsey decides to let it go. Switch advantage, I think, is going to matter in the back, or maybe not. Empoleon looks quite strong for DHC still in this matchup, though, and Kelsey actually gives up switch advantage. DHC brings in the Gyarados, and this is looking pretty good for DHC, able to get these super effective Dragon Breaths off.
He predicts the Florges in the back, and that's huge. Gyarados, though, is not going to appreciate the neutral Dragon Tail and Brutal Swing, doing a huge chunk of damage. However, DHC may be feeling confident that once you get this huge mileage out of the Gyarados, it could be good. He goes for the crunch, thinking that he might not even make it to 2 Aqua Tail, so going to throw the slightly harder hitting move, might even get a potential debuff. Do we get debuff? No. And Kelsey, after seeing that though, going for the full Dragon Tail down, knowing that DHC doesn't reach another move.
Yeah, barely not getting that Aqua Tail there. Maybe should have gone for double Aqua Tail. Altaria going to come back in to try to absorb some of this energy from the Guzzlord. First Brutal Swing coming through, and Altaria is loaded up with an attack, but we'll have to see if DHC decides to throw it. And he actually decides to preserve the Altaria, a little bit of health on it at least. Here comes the second Brutal Swing, and DHC is going to let this one go.
I believe DHC should be able to hang on. He has the Flamethrower and the Sky Attack loaded. Does Kelsey just swap over? Doesn't want to get farmed down. Oh, he's actually the first one to pivot over. Wants to get an energy lead against the Guzzlord. That's going to be proving to be pivotal for this back-end matchup. Florges doesn't have a lot of places to go into the Empoleon. However, there's still health remaining on the Empoleon on the side of Kelsey.
Yeah, health and a ton of energy. Look at that. She's over 1 Hydro Cannon. She is going to be able to throw the Hydro Cannon first, and this is going to probably pull DHC's last shield. He has energy on both of these Pokemon, but he definitely needs to preserve some health on this Empoleon. He hasn't even seen the Florges in the back.
Kelsey going to try to reach another Hydro Cannon, and I think she's going to be able to. She has more than enough energy to outpace DHC. The timer's not up yet. She's one more Metal Sound away and does get to the pivotal Hydro Cannon. Even if DHC hangs on here, I don't know if he has enough health to take out the Florges despite the positive matchup. Going to try to go for the farm down, maybe even leave with the energy. He does leave with the energy. Try to Dragon Breath down. Does he get it? He does. That's massive for DHC. However, Kelsey can catch it. Energy on the Guzzlord, eat it up, because you know DHC has to throw the move if she decides to come in Guzzlord, and that's going to be, oh no, she comes in the Florges instead.
And that's huge. I think if she came in Guzzlord, DHC has to throw. Look at how low this Altaria is. Now the question is, can Florges survive a Sky Attack plus a Hydro Cannon? I don't know. She's going to get 1 Fairy Wind here, but I think the Hydro is already loaded. It might come down to a catch.
And he just throws it right away. Doesn't want to mess around. Doesn't want to give Kelsey a chance to catch. She could have, but not knowing when he's going to throw it. There's going to be a huge Hydro Cannon, a few Metal Sounds. Can she get there? 2, 1, no, doesn't. But the Guzzlord still has health. Can't get the Dragon Tail down. No, and DHC somehow farms it down and finishes off 1 HP on both sides, but he has a Hydro Cannon loaded.
And huge Empoleon gameplay from DHC. We saw him go down 1-3 in that matchup in the winners finals earlier, but able to hang on to this match by just a sliver of health.
Sliver of health on both sides too, right? I mean, just shows how incredible these two trainers have been playing. I don't think he's going to make that mistake again, and I think if we do see that Guzzlord matchup versus the Shadow Gyarados, he might just go for the double Aqua Tail instead, knowing that he needs that extra damage and could actually get to a second move if he plays it right. Here we go, Empoleon in a mirror matchup. I don't remember if we saw who in charge of that party. I think it was actually Kelsey in that winner's side, and looks like both players trying to overfarm a bit. There's so many catch potential, but Kelsey avoids Empoleon on her floor, just was really going to be paying off for her.
Yeah, and I think if you're DHC, look at how weak your backline is to Florges. Would not be surprised to see him switch up, maybe into that Gyarados, maybe to try and catch an attack from the Empoleon, but for now, gonna catch this, or sorry, eat this resisted Hydro Cannon on his own Empoleon.
DHC could potentially catch onto Altaria, but the thing is, Kelsey might overfarm. You know that the Hydro Cannon is actually not going to be enough, and that's exactly what she does. Throws 1 more Metal Sound, making it hard to predict when she is going to throw this Hydro Cannon. Second Hydro Cannon does come out against DHC. The question is, what does he do? He's low on health. He might need to save it. He knows there's a Florges somewhere. Throws 1 more Hydro Cannon. He might try to leap with 1 and try to go for a catch. There's so many catch potentials. Probably going to be on the Altaria. But we saw this double Dragon Breath line in the back, and it proved to be difficult. He comes in. They Simon swap. But this is exactly the swap he needs. This is a matchup he wants. You can see Kelsey actually smiling a little bit, saying, wow, okay, we're both making predictions here. DHC want to spend his final shield against this Guzzlord wants to grab shields back or do something, anticipating that there's a Fortress. I like the play because Fortress with energy doesn't do enough to Altari, so he doesn't really need to shield for Altari. He just needs to take Kelsey's shields or do enough damage to start throwing charge attacks.
Yeah, I mean, I like the shield usage for DHC, but Kelsey, she's still got 2 shields up on her side, and Floor just really only needs shields to take out Altaria, right? You need to shield yourself from the Sky Attack, but not from the Dragon Breaths. DHC going to be able to take down the Guzzlord with that second Aqua Tail there, and here is that Florges that's been the centerpiece of this matchup. DHC already at an Aqua Tail, though.
Aqua Tail going to outpace the pacing of the Florges through the Chilling Water and the Trailblaze. You can see DHC already learning from game 1, going for the double Aqua Tail, throwing on charge attack party as well, not trying to optimize, and in comes the Altaria, going to be able to eat this energy really well, and Florges already below half health. Let's not forget, both Empoleon have a Hydro Cannon loaded in the back. Kelsey has a shield advantage, but not enough health left to potentially use them. Let's see what she does. Now throws the double resistant Trailblaze, wants to just try to whittle down the health bar of this Altaria.
Yeah, and this is really interesting because I don't know how much that Chilling Water does for you. The Dragon Breaths are already tickling. They're going to just do no damage at all now, but the Sky Attack is really what you have to worry about, and I think even with that debuff, you still have to shield this up.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Every fast attack at a minimum has to 1 damage apiece, and I think that's exactly what the Dragon Breaths are doing. Kelsey going for another Trailblaze, trying to double boost the floor, just do as much damage as possible. She could swap out and do a combo play, but then she's going to clear the buff she has. DHC still has a shield left. You can see he's going to outpace as well, throws another Sky Attack. Does Kelsey ever shield into this situation? She has no health on the Empoleon. You have to shield, but she's going to let it go.
Yeah, she still has the Empoleon. The Empoleon has a lot of energy, but not a lot of health. And you just look at the Gyarados on DHC's side, you have to imagine that this game is absolutely over. And DHC able to take game number 2. He could be on his way to a bracket reset.
I get why she simul-swapped to the Guzzlord, thinking that it might be the Altari instead. But DHC playing different mind games and is paying off here as he finds a fantastic lead in this 3rd game.
And this is exactly what he needs. He's closing in on the 3-0, but Kelsey makes a quick swap into Guzzlord. DHC doesn't have an answer. He actually has the Gyarados in the back, but he's staying in for a second just to throw this Drill Peck.
Let's see how he's going to do this. He knows he needs to preserve the Empoleon in some way, shape, or form, although he was able to whittle down the health bar of that Florges early, and now comes the Altari. I like this play. You could potentially Dragon Breath down, and then the energy is going to go somewhere into the Florges still. You won't be debuffed yet, so you could do a lot of damage in return. Let's see how Kelsey plays out. Her timer is ahead of DHC. Can she hang on long enough to keep the Guzzlord around and make that swap?
Yeah, but Guzzlord is getting very, very low, so even if she's able to preserve it, really all it's going to do in the end game is to become a catch. But, oh, DHC actually goes for the Sky Attack here to make sure to knock out the Guzzlord. And now this could open up a little bit of a farm down for Kelsey with the Florges.
That's definitely true. The Empoleon has a little bit of energy. I don't think a Hydro Cannon loaded, though, but this engine is going to play favorably. Can DHC get to 1 more Sky Attack? I think might just go for it. Tries to build up to it and finally throws the Sky Attack. It's going to do a decent amount of chip damage. So Kelsey Ray knows she's in a bad matchup. She doesn't have switch advantage. She's going to put everything on her own Empoleon instead. It does have decent matchups into that Gyarados, but there's still another full health Empoleon to contend with. Trailblaze is going to be thrown the correct move into this Empoleon to really soften it up.
Yeah, this is going to be neutral damage. It's probably going to put the Empoleon at just about half health you see there in the yellow, but DHC also has the Gyarados in the back. Kelsey actually going to stay and try to pull a shield before she probably swaps out.
I don't think she expects that there could be a Marowak in the back given how strong her team is. And now we grab a shield from DHC. In comes the Empoleon, but the Gyarados is still waiting in the wings. DHC wants to throw a Hydro Cannon first at the Empoleon to do some chip damage. However, Empoleon with energy into the backline of DHC's Gyarados, it's not going to be a great time. Now the Gyarados comes in, but the Empoleon already has over a Drill Peck worth of energy. He's not going to shield. I think he just wants to chip down the Empoleon as much as possible and try to finish it off with his own Empoleon.
Yeah, a little bit of potential gameplay has opened up for Kelsey here. She's up a shield. She's still got the Florges, and her clock is coming up pretty soon. She might be able to get out of this matchup, switch back into Florges, and build up even more energy. We'll have to see how this plays out. DHC able to start pulling away these shields from Kelsey with that Aqua Tail.
Her timer's not up yet. She's going to opt to throw the Drill Peck. DHC actually choosing the shield. This is not a bad play in my mind because the Florges doesn't have energy. You're also in Aqua Tail range, so it's hard to even swap in the Gyarados. DHC just wants to get rid of this Empoleon as much as possible to carve out a victory here. Can Kelsey actually farm down is the real question, because if you can, it makes things a lot dicier for DHC's Empoleon. She is at the Drill Peck. DHC is at the Aqua Tail, and she catches the Aqua Tail on her Florges, expending that energy, tries to maybe go down for Metal Sound down, but DHC's own timer herself. He's going to come in the Empoleon. I think he could hang on after one Hydro Cannon. She's almost at the double though, but he is at it. If he survives this Hydro Cannon, he is going to take this pivotal game 3 and reset the bracket. Is she at the move? Does he hang on? And he does. He has a Hydro Cannon. That's a 3-0 victory in this first bracket. We have a bracket reset.
And how many times have we seen this DHC's Pokemon hanging on by just 1 HP? That's going to give him, as you said, the bracket reset here, 3-0 victory. And all of a sudden, the momentum has completely flipped. DHC can't believe it himself. I know he was holding his breath, seeing if his Empoleon would survive that attack. But we're already getting into the reset.
Who am I to question your analysis there? So if I'm not sure either, all I know is this is the most amount of Shadow Gyarados I have ever seen and anyone's ever seen in Championship Series history. And it is so wild to see as DHC has the matchup he wants. Gyarados into the Guzzlord, super effective Dragon Breath damage, and goes for the harder hitting Crunch. Maybe even could get a debuff against the Guzzlord.
Oh, and there's a debuff. Might be the first one I've seen on stream. Brutal Swing coming through. DHC, I have to wonder if he's going to shield this. He does shield it up at the very last second. He sees that Kelsey is staying in with the Guzzlord, maybe seeing a little bit of value here. Kelsey able to reach his Brutal Swing before Gyarados can reach an Aqua Tail. Now DHC has to wonder, do I invest the second Protect Shield right off the bat? And he does.
Taking a page out of Elom, so expending both shields right off the bat. I think what I noticed with DHC is he realized this Gyarados is really strong, even against the Florges, because the Aqua Tails really start adding up. And I love this play because he has the Empoleon on the back. He does so much damage, and after that, Kelsey would have maybe one Pokemon left. Yes, she has 2 shields, but how much health can she even avoid at this point? Gets to another Aqua Tail. Does Kelsey shield this, expecting that, yeah, there's probably an Empoleon on the back. What do I do?
Yeah, she does choose to preserve the Florges. Again, she doesn't know either of the back Pokemon, though she can certainly make a pretty good guess. And how many times have we seen DHC bring his Altari into a loaded Florges? Such a great way to absorb energy. And this time you see Kelsey is not throwing the Chilling Water. She knows that that's not really going to help out with the Sky Attack damage. She's already in Sky Attack range. So, okay, no, sorry. She is going for the Chilling Water, but now that she's already boosted her attack.
Yeah, I think the plan is that she can't really stay in here, right, in Florges. So going to just make this matchup slightly easier for the Empoleon. But the timers are super misaligned. Look at the timers for DHC as well. If he could realign the Gyarados into the Empoleon, resist all that Metal Sound, he'd get even more mileage out of that Shadow Gyarados as the Flamethrower is going to be thrown. Kelsey knows that there's probably an Empoleon back, needs to try to save a shield for that or for the Gyarados.
Yeah, but this is so tough. Altari is going to be able to hang on to this Drill Peck quite easily. Might even make another charge attack, but DHC's clock is already up. He can switch out if he wants to, but no, just going to throw this Flamethrower, maybe try to pull the last shield from Empoleon. I don't think he's even revealed his own Empoleon quite yet.
Flamethrower coming through, debuff, but still does a lot of damage. Now comes the Gyarados, trying to Dragon Breath down, not going to be able to do it. But the problem is, he has a full health Empoleon, and there's only a Florges left on the side of Kelsey. Kelsey does have a shield, but the problem is the Metal Sounds are adding up way too quickly, and he is going for the Metal Sound down as DHC takes another game off of Kelsey in this bracket reset.
And that is 4 games straight from DHC, but he's running the same exact 3 Pokemon. I think Kelsey still is as well. Kelsey, at this point, has to be wondering, am I not bringing the right Pokemon? Am I not positioning them quite correctly? Maybe the Florges isn't quite as dominant as I thought.
Double down, triple down, quadruple down, brought Shadow Gyarados into every single game, realizing that, you know what, even as a fairy, I have played game number 5 between these two in the grand finals. It's going to be game 2 in the bracket reset. It's going to be Empoleon versus the Altaria.
And this is a huge adjustment for Kelsey. We've seen her relying so much on that Florges, and you see now she's finally dropped it for the Jellicent, anticipating the exact line that DHC has brought yet again. Let's see if it pays off for her, but for now, we're still in the lead matchup. Drill Peck about to land on Altaria.
Despite the fact that Jellicent takes super effective crunch damage, I actually like this adjustment from her because he has to build up to crunch, he has to bait perfectly to grab shields, he has to do something a little bit more than just throw Aqua Tail. The Aqua Tail spam just came out so fast into the Guzzlord and the Florges and the Empoleon. She's saying, you know what, this different strategy may be the solution I need, as the second Drill Peck is going to land on the Altaria.
Yeah, and Altaria, of course, very bulky, easily able to hang on there, but again, I've got my eye on the backline. DHC already at a Sky attack here. It's going to land on the Empoleon. Kelsey is happy to let this go. Oh, and if she gets a big Hex down here, that could be very uncomfortable for DHC.
DHC winning switch advantage, but in comes the Guzzlord. Want to farm as much energy as possible. This Guzzlord has a lot of play into the entire backline of DHC. Neutral damage with the brutal swings against both the Gyarados and the Empoleon. He's expecting the Florges, but he's mistaken. It's actually a hard answer to that Empoleon. And now Kelsey in the driver's seat with the energy lead can turn the tides of this series. Octail is going to be thrown first. Not enough to KO the Guzzlord. Does she anticipate that there's something else in the back instead of the Empoleon? But I think she's saying, you know what? He's been the same 3 Pokemon in different order or the same order every single time. I'm putting everything on the line here with this Jellicent, and that could prove to be successful as JC going to let this go down. Now comes the Empoleon, and here comes the Jellicent. This is a bait game. She won that 4th game in the Winner's Rounds by going straight Shadow Ball. Does she do it again?
Yeah, and I think she can just go straight at Shadow Ball. There's no reason to worry. There's no catch available on DHC's side. You know, you heard Kelsey in the interview. She doesn't want to second guess herself. And in this game, she read the team perfectly. She stuck to it. And now you see she has the Jellicent on the Empoleon instead of the Florges, which is what DHC was expecting. Yeah,
and the thing is, Jellicent can tank a Drill Peck no problem. The Metal Sounds are doing resistance damage. Meanwhile, the Hex damage is slowly whittling down the health bar of the Empoleon to the point where one Shadow Ball shouldn't be enough to KO. He just lets go. He said, you know what? My only win condition is issue base. Otherwise, I lose either way. He recognizes that there are no win conditions remaining, and Kelsey is able to stifle the momentum. It's going to be a tied series 1-1 against Kelsey and DHC in this bracket reset.
And all of a sudden, Kelsey is now the one with momentum, has won the most recent game after losing 4 straight to DHC. And now with the mind games, if you're DHC, he has been playing like there is a Florges in the back every single game, and he was right 4 out of the first 5 times. But now he has to wonder, is there a Jellicent? And that's going to make him second guess some of these team decisions, second guess which Pokemon to bring in if he wins switch advantage.
Let's see if he's able to adjust to Kelsey's adjustment, but she might bring back the Florges. And here we go, a fantastic lead for DHC. The game's not over yet because we've seen Kelsey come back from even worse odds. She's just going to safe swap the Guzzlord. And again, having so much neutral play into the team of DHC, throwing the Brutal Swing, misaligning the timers, even if DHC swaps out.
Yeah, able to get off this Brutal Swing so quickly. Marowak has only just reached the Bone Club. We'll have to see if DHC actually decides to throw it, though, versus switch out. He does decide to throw the Bone Club. Like you said, Caleb, super misaligned switch timers. Whatever he brings in, that might actually allow Kelsey's Empoleon to eventually get an energy lead on the Marowak. DHC is going to bring in his own Empoleon now.
In a way, DHC tanking the Brutal Swing wasn't too bad because the Hydro Cannon is going to be the move you want to worry about. The Metal Sound's not going to be enough. You can't Metal Sound down, so as long as he has like about half health on Marowak, he could just go for that Mud Slap down in that matchup. And now DHC coming in with his own Empoleon, a little bit more than 0 energy after throwing this Drill Peck. So now Kelsey going to be a little bit behind in this mirror matchup too.
Yeah, but this is where the mind games come in, right? DHC's now thinking, oh, there's no Florges. I don't need the Empoleon anymore. But now there's the Florges in the back, and it's going to be lined up on the Altaria. For now, though, we're in this Empoleon mirror match. DHC a little bit ahead on energy. Looks like it was a charge attack priority, but we've seen this one before. I think DHC is going to be able to hang on.
Just barely, should be 1 or 2 Metal Sounds away, but enough to get the Hydro Cannon off. The question is, can he get a second Hydro Cannon off? That would be pretty nice, making the Mud Slap down even better. And the thing is, Kelsey, yes, has a Fortress into that Dragon Altaria, but we saw the damage from the charge attack's not going to be enough. Oh, goes for the swap, brings in the Marowak, and here comes the Hydro Cannon into the Marowak and forcing DHC's shield.
I love that play from DHC. He stayed in just long enough to make sure he got to that Hydro Cannon. It's banked in the back. He brings in the Florges. No clear answer on Kelsey's side. Yes, this is not a great matchup for Florges, but you're out of Fairy Wind down range.
And the thing is, you're behind on energy, going to grab the first shield from Kelsey. Look at the health on the Empoleon on the back. And she doesn't have enough energy to do anything with the Empoleon right away. Even the Altaria is going to be troublesome into that Steel type. DHC saying, you know what, I'm going to just either grab your final shield or do so much damage that you cannot do anything but take fast stack pressure. There is that move still banked on the Empoleon. He's going to throw one more, and we grab the final shield from Kelsey. Timers are going to be up. She has potential to catch the Hydro Cannon, but there's the combo play coming, and here comes the Hydro Cannon. Neutral damage should put the Florges in the red territory. Not a lot of health left on the remaining 2 Pokemon Kelsey.
Yeah, and you know what? DHC might even be able to win this without showing. No, he does show the Altaria. He's going to be able to Dragon Breath down this floor. Just Chilling Water going to land, but there's nothing kelssseyk can do at this point. And now DHC is the one who has made the adjustment, brought in that Kanto Marowak, probably surprised kelssseyk quite a bit. And DHC now going to be 2-1 advantage here, just one game away from winning this regional championship.
kelssseyk finding a win in the last game, but takes another loss here in game 3. She needs to win this to have a chance to force that 5th and final game. Does she lean back into the Jellicent? It's a question. A close series there, a tough lead, but DHC staying locked in, switching things up with the Shadow Marowak, and it really paid off with that fantastic lead. All right, here we go, and it is going to be Jellicent into the Gyarados. Not a terrible matchup for the Gyarados. You avoid the matchup into the Empoleon, which is what kelssseyk wants. In comes that safe swap. Guzzlord yet again. DHC throwing a Aqua Tail, may try to come in with the Altaria to soften this up, trying to avoid the Empoleon for later, expecting that there might be the Florges, and that's exactly what he does.
Yeah, that's exactly what he does. This is going to be so fantastic for him to absorb all of this energy from the Brutal Swings. Yes, he is going to be taking super effective Dragon Tail damage, but he's going to come out of this as well with a lot of impactful energy.
And Altaria taking the damage pretty well. He might be able to go for a Dragon Breath down, and that could be proving to be useful, but the Jellicent getting farmed down with the Hex can also be great, as he is just continuing to throw Dragon Breath. Might throw right before the Brutal Swings reach. That's exactly what he does. Does kelssseyk shield here? The problem is if she shields, DHC can shield back and maintain Switch Advantage. She does hold the shield though.
Yeah, she does put up the shield, and that is going to allow her to throw this Brutal Swing. Now the decision's on DHC. Do I want Switch Advantage? Do I want Shield Advantage? He looks like he wants Switch Advantage. He wants to make sure he keeps the Gyarados on the Jellicent and the Empoleon away from it. And importantly, he doesn't know. Oh, but he stops tapping, trying to give her even less farm.
Really heads up play from DHC, knowing that energy on the Jellicent could be proving to be bad, and now she shows her final Pokemon, and now he comes in the Gyarados. He needs to land a crunch to have a chance here. kelssseyk can go for the bait, goes for the Surf. Does DHC call it? I think he just shields either way, want to preserve as much health as possible. He throws up the shield, going to be baited. Can she get to a Shadow Ball before double crunches reach? He could also go for his own bait, farming up to both crunch. He does go for the Aqua Tail baits.
And I think kelssseyk may have just tapped the Surf. He goes for the Aqua Tail bait. He gets the shield from kelssseyk. And now the question is this Gyarados going to survive a Surf? It is resisted damage, but Gyarados, a very, very squishy Pokemon, and DHC is so close to that crunch.
If she gets a Hex down after this before he gets her crunch, it can be disastrous. He has the crunch though. Super effective crunch is going to land on to the Jellicent. Can Jellicent hang on and possibly get her Shadow Ball? No, it cannot. Here comes the Empoleon, but there's a Florges in the back. A terrible matchup for kelssseyk. And you see DHC, he's excited. He knows he's one more Hydro Cannon away from taking the victory. History is written by the victors. And this chapter is all about DHC winning his first ever title, as he is moments away from becoming your 2026 Toronto Pokemon Go champion.
Empoleon metal sounding away. It's going to clinch this victory for him. No charge attacks thrown, just fast attacks, and DHC wins the Toronto Regional Championship.
Wow, what a tournament from both competitors. DHC, the third ever tournament for him. His first tournament was November, less than 2 months ago, and he has carved out a name for him in history. But of course, kelssseyk as well, her best finish so far.